I want us to head into the meat of our conversation, compulsory insurance. And going through the Act this morning, Act 724, 2006, the National Insurance, the Insurance Act. So this, I saw the motor part, saw the commercial property. Seth, apart from these two, are there any other types of compulsory insurance in the Ghanaian market?
So currently, those are the only two compulsory insurance that exist. So the motor compulsory one, there are some cars that don't have to be insured. So if you get hit by a police car, there's no insurance to it. If you get hit by a government car, there's not necessarily, the law doesn't necessarily state that there has to be insurance. So those are all conversations that we need to have to see that if there's a need for the government and all those government agencies to start insuring their vehicles. That's one. Also, you talk of the commercial property. It only applies to private commercial property.
Okay.
So if you are in a government building and there is an accident, there's no compensation there. So currently, those are the two bits that are compulsory to be insured in Ghana.
Okay, and with the new bill you are seeking to present to Parliament sometime very soon, what other types are you seeking to add to this list? Okay,
so for now, these are some of them that we have in mind. The first of which is what we call the group life. So what the group life is that in most countries, the UK and the rest, if, for example, you are working for Joy FM or multimedia as you do, and the unfortunate happens and you kick the bucket, you get at least 4 times your annual salary. And it exists in most countries. Nigeria introduced it about 3 years ago, and there's been a lot of benefit in that, in the sense that if you work with any company, in Nigeria, for example, if there are more than 4 people in any company, there has to be compulsory group life, such that if you die for any reason at all, that kicks in. The other type that we are also looking at making it compulsory is that there is what we call the PNDC Law 187, which is the Workmen's Compensation Act. And that law says that if you get injured or you die in the course of doing your work, the industry or the company that you work for will need to give you compensation. But it doesn't necessarily mandate that it should be insured. So what we are saying is that liability that arises out of PNDC Law 187, the workmen's compensation, should be made an insurable thing, so that the burden is taken away from the industry and in the same time gives the Ghanaian workers a bit more protection. The other bit is what we call professional indemnity insurance. So professional indemnity insurance is that if you go to Kolebu and you get operated on, and there's negligence or a mistake on the part of the nurses or the doctors, and you suffer any injury or you die for that matter, there should be an insurance that the doctor has taken, such that you can be able to claim on that. So we are looking at all the different professions, civil engineering or the engineering, the medical, the law, that all of them should have compulsory professional indemnity, such that if they mess up or if they make mistakes, as we are all human, the Ghanaian public doesn't suffer as a result of that. So those are some of them. And as we go on, I will mention another one, which is what we call landlords and tenants, for example. So, for example, there should be insurances that such that if a landlord building gets touched by a tenant, for example, there is protection. So these are all discussions that we are having with the stakeholders. The stakeholders in this case will be all the people who will be affected, the Ghanaian public, and this is part of the engagement. There will be engagement with the AGI, there will be engagement with all the professional bodies to let them understand that there is a need for that kind of professional indemnity that should exist. Okay, so currently, private commercial property insurance, motor insurance are the 2 compulsory ones that exist under law as we speak today. What you're seeking to add are 1, group life, 2, workmen's compensation, 3, professional indemnity, and 4, landlords and tenants insurance. Okay, now we're learning that the insurance sector is strong, is safe, is healthy. The National Insurance Commission, the regulator, is putting in every measure to ensure that
there's a sound environment when it comes to insurance. They're going to add a couple of new types of insurance to the already compulsory insurance list. So in the coming months, coming years, we should see new types of insurance being made compulsory. And it's all for you and I, our well-being. It's not because they're looking for premiums. It's because they want us to be insured and to be safe. I'm going to pick Mr. Odro's thoughts on the new compulsory insurance and whether it has the potential to deepen penetration rates of insurance in Ghana. Mr. Odro, they've given us the list of the new ones they want to introduce. I'm sure you are privy to some of these discussions. Given the categories so far, I'm sure maybe set to allude to this, there will be more. Do you think this holds the key to deepening insurance penetration in the country?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, no two ways about that. I picked on a few ones, that is a professional indemnity insurance. When I joined SIC, my first question was, do we have professional indemnity insurance? And the answer was no. That really surprised me. I spent my adult life in the US. My own spouse happens to be a nurse.
Okay.
No hospital will hire you without having professional indemnity insurance. No hospital. It's not the hospital will buy it for you, but you have to prove that you are competent enough to work there. So it's not a matter of expanding the insurance base. It's a matter of protecting the public. Because my own mother-in-law died on the operating table. Her pressure was going down and nobody, I won't mention the hospital, nobody was able to recognize that the pressure was going down. If this insurance had been in place, those nurses and doctors probably would not have been working at the hospital. Because when you have that type of insurance, then the onus will be on the hospitals to weed out all the quack health professionals. And it's very, very, very important. The other insurance that we don't have in this country that I will personally advocate that we should add would be all the government buildings. You know, I'll give one example, the old Foreign Affairs building. It's a white elephant. If that building had been insured, I'm sure by now it would have been renovated and put into good use. And as I'm talking to you, if you go there at the old, the Tama station, it's still standing there. And I will advocate that government buildings must be insured, especially fire insurance. You know what? If you enter any government buildings, you are exposed. If something happens, you are exposed. And there's nothing your family can do if you lose your life that way. You know, and we troop to government buildings for services. And I would advocate very much that government buildings must be insured. When it comes to the police, I can understand that. But at the barest minimum, I think police vehicles must be insured minimum third party. You know, my father was a police officer for about 30 years. And when, you know, you put a laser on the police, they do the right thing. You know, they won't, you know, if they hit you, let's say a police car hits your car, and you have a third party, you are left on your own. You know, so I think at the very, yes, it's going to cost the government a lot of money, but the police is there to protect the public. So as part of the protection, they should add at least the third-party policies on the police vehicles. You know, the one thing I've noticed here in Ghana is that people spend a lot of money to build their houses, and therefore they don't find the need to insure their homes. if my memory serves me right, less than 10% of private houses are insured. We've started educating some of the people. We've deployed some of our own staff, marketing staff, to go to some of the areas to convince them to buy. In fact, I personally went to one person, a very renowned person, and then we started talking about insurance for his houses.
Okay.
Initially, he resisted. Then we brought in some pertinent issues if something happens. That raised his antenna and said, I'm going to insure 5 of my houses. So bring in your underwriters to write the policies for me. So I think the education level must be increased. All these things and the new ones coming in are very, very important to at least the penetration to expand. 2% is not enough. And also, you see people spend their monies to build houses. The fee that goes through the banks, then the bank can force the new homeowners to buy home insurance because they also must protect their interests in those properties. So if we get more people taking mortgages, you see more people being forced to buy
home insurance.
Yes, absolutely.
So I think you agree with the steps the NIC.
Absolutely, and I'm just trying to encourage them to add more. At least government buildings, at the bare minimum, must have fire insurance.